All right, we're going to continue our video here, and I'm going to be able to do example 3, and we will get into example 4. To start off with example 3, this is kind of why we use ratio tables. In the previous examples, it was, how do you solve a ratio table, and you have to find those patterns. Well, in this one, we're going to solve a ratio problem. So it's going to explain a little bit of like why we use a ratio table and how it can make more sense. This is the part that you do not need to write down. That's why I took the picture of it. This is right out of your book. There's 2 different methods to solving this. I'm gonna show you a new one. And this will give you 2 different ways to actually solve for ratio tables. So it kind of helps a little bit, but at the same time, you might have different types of problems where you're gonna use both methods. So I'm gonna start with method 1, which I'm doing a little different than what the book does. I'm going to start with method 1, which is going to be using a ratio table. So go ahead and copy this down for me, and then you can stop for a moment and wait till the next method. To start, it says a nutrition label shows that there are 75 milligrams of sodium in every 12 crackers. Well, it says that you eat 30 crackers. How much sodium do you consume? So they start off with giving us a ratio. We've got sodium, and we've got crackers. And the sodium is in milligrams, so I'm just going to note that just so that I don't forget when I go to label my question. The question is how much sodium do you consume, but we have to remember it's when we eat 30 crackers. The first ratio that they give us is they give us 75 milligrams to every 12 crackers. So I'm going to fill that in like this, 75 to 12. We need to know, how do we get to 30? So to start this off, I'm just going to make my line that big. I don't know how much I'm going to actually use, but we're going to start off with a pretty big one, and I can erase it at the end if I need to. So I made my ratio table. I'm going to fix that. Made my ratio table like this. We need to get to 30. So the first thing I do when I'm trying to figure out something like this, I try to think, all right, if I start with 12, and I need to get to 30, I'm going to give myself a little bit of space, okay? I don't know if I'm going to need just one of these areas, or if I'm going to need to make those 2 different, or another, split them in half. So first of all, how do I get from 12 to 30? There's nothing really good that goes from 12 to 30. So I have to think of a number that is compatible by both of them. Basically, what's a factor that goes into 12 and that goes into 30? So that way I can get from here to here, and then here to here. So as I think about this, I'm going to change colors. If I think about this, I've got, let's see, what are my factors of 12? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Do any of those numbers go into 30? Well, 2 goes into 30, so that one's pretty easy. Another one that would go into it with 3, yeah, 3 works. 4, no, that doesn't work with 30. 5, 6, so 6, does 6 go into 30? 6 times 5, that works, and 12, and 6 times 2 equals 12. So I'm going to go with 6, okay? What do I do to get from 12 to 6? Well, I just simply divide by 2. 6 divided by 2 equals 6, or 12 divided by 2 equals 6. Now I've got to do the same thing up on the top. Now this gets a little bit kind of funky. I can't divide 75 in half, so I could either leave it as 75 over 2, or I could think to myself, how many times does 2 go into 75? And it happens to go in there 37 times, and 2 times 37 is 74. So that means I got 1 left over and a half. So all I simply did was made this fraction into a mixed number, or I could have done this if I wanted to, and then figured that all out. 7 goes in, or 2 goes into 7, 3 times, minus 6 here, I got 1, just to kind of show you. 2 goes into 15, 7 times, and I got 1 left over, so that gives me a remainder of 1, which we learned we don't put the r anymore, we put the 1, and we bring it over 2, because that's our denominator. So you see I got 37 and a half. So you could do it either way. Now, if I have 37 and a half, in the, I guess in our world of ratios, I would want to probably make this into, let's see if I can erase it, into a decimal, because it's just a little bit easier to work with. So 37.5. Now I have to figure out, how did I get from 6 to 30? Well, I just need to multiply that by 5. So I'm going to do the same thing up here and multiply it by 5. So now I have another problem of 37.5 times 5. We know with decimals from chapter 2 that we don't do anything with our decimal place, and we work it out like this. And with the worked out, with our worked out work here, we've got 187.5. So now go back up to our question. What was it asking? Well, if I have 30 crackers, my ratio ends up being how much sodium did I consume? I consumed 187.5 milligrams. So this would be my final answer. We're going to call this one method number 1. This is kind of what we learned in the last 2 examples. I'm going to erase all this, and I'm going to show you how to do a different method. This second method is using a double number line. And our double number line, it starts at 0 on both sides. And then you just simply have a line that goes all the way down. And I always have a second one. That's why it's called a double number line. And you put in what you know. So we know that with this thing, here's our 0. We also know that we have a ratio of 75. And this top one will be our sodium. And the bottom one will be our crackers. And remember, sodium's in milligrams, so it's kind of nice just to add it in so we don't forget. And we're doing the same question. We have to figure out how much sodium do you actually consume if you have 30 crackers. So we already know the answer to this, not the point, but you put in your 75 over your 12, because that's our first ratio. So we label it on this double number line like so. Technically, a 0 to 0 ratio it's equal, right? So is 75 to 12. Well, what we also know is that we have 30 crackers. So I'm going to put in my 30 here. Okay, but we don't know what that number on top would be. I mean, we do, but we don't. And so we just have to kind of think, like, how can I skip if I'm just doing these numbers? Now, if I went backwards like I did before, my 6 is going to be way over here, because on a number line, you go in order, okay? And we do know from the last one that we did that it should be 37.5 up here if we wanted to add it. But we have to go this way. And in order to go that way, we got to think in between. If we put in a number in between those two, or one, if I went to the next one, because I know 6 times 2 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. So I could do that one if I wanted to and put in a 24 there. So basically I went 12 times 2. I'm going to do the same thing up here. 75 times 2. That gets me to 150. So if I actually ate 24 crackers, I would have 150 milligrams of sodium. So it's another equivalent ratio. But this is the answer that we're looking for. So now I'm one step closer to 150. Now I'm going to do 24 times. Let's do 12 times 3, sorry. So if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do 12 times 3, which we know equals 36. If I do that, I'm going to do 75 times 3. And again, what the thing that we're figuring out here, and I'll just put in the answer for you, is 225. What we're trying to figure out here is we're getting all these equivalent ratios. So what's kind of nice is we can say that 30 is halfway between 24 and 36, because all I'm doing here is now I'm adding 6. I'm adding 6. I'm not going to do the same thing on the top, so I need to find the halfway value, let me change my color here, of 225 and 150. So what's in between the halfway point? Another way you could look at this too is if you checked another pattern, And you saw that 37 plus, or 37 and a half plus 37 and a half equals 75. Then we've got 37 plus, or 75 plus 37 and a half. And we can keep seeing that these add up and add up and add up. So if I took 150, because I know it's at the halfway point between these two, and I added 37.5, it's actually going to give me my answer of 187. I left a really small spot there, didn't I? 0.5. So again, another way to find out, this one, depending on how you do it, this can be a little bit more work, but it will get us the same answer of 187.5 milligrams. All right, I took out a few things for example 4. This is modeling real life. I'm going to kind of try to make this one quick because I'm kind of over my time limit here. So basically, we're modeling real life. So it says you and your teacher make colored frosting, and you add 3 drops of red food coloring for every 1 drop of blue food coloring. Your teacher adds 5 drops of red for every 3 drops of blue. Whose frosting is redder? So we have to understand, and it kind of explains it right here, but we have to understand like whose frosting is redder. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to copy down this ratio table and this ratio table. So copy them down like this on your paper, and then we'll kind of figure it out together. So take a minute to do that by pausing. All right. The first thing that we know is that you make food coloring, and then you add in, I'm just going to highlight this here. You add in 3 drops of red food coloring, which says it right here, okay? And then for every 1 drop is blue food coloring. So we have our drops of blue, and we put in 1 drop. That's for your frosting. Your teacher put in 5 drops of red food coloring right here for every 3 drops of blue, which is right here, and that's for your teacher. All right, so let's add in our total real quick. We know we have a total drops of 3 plus 1 is 4. Whoops, I don't want to do it like that, do I? There we go. 3 plus 1 is 4. And then 5 plus 3 is 8. So we know our 2 totals are right there. So, but what we're really trying to figure out here is who has a redder frosting. So if you have 8 drops in there, obviously this one's going to be kind of red, but we're not really sure because the ratio, we have to get to an equal ratio using repeated addition to see whose quantity is more red. So I'm just going to double. Let's start with adding 3 of them here. So 3 plus 3 gives me 6. And I'm going to add over on this side just 1 drop because I want to make these equivalent. So I'm just going to add 1 here to get me 2. So we know that 3 to 1 is equivalent to 6 to 2. Okay, we just basically doubled it. All right, and we could have just done 3 times 2 is 6 and 1 times 2 is 2. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of see what I get if I just add 3 more to this. Gives me 9. And I'm just going to add 1 more because I'm going to stick with my pattern. I got 9 and 3. Still equivalent. We're just going down by 3s and down by 1s. Do the same thing. I'm going to add 3 more. I'm going to get 12. Add 1 more. I get 4. And then I'm going to do 1 more box here and add 3 more, which gets me to 15. And 1 more gets me to 5. Let me go ahead and do all my totals here. So 6 plus 2 is 8. 9 plus 3 gives me 12. 12 plus 4 gives me 16. And 5 plus 15 equals 20. All right, I'm going to go back over here now. And I'm just going to do the same thing. Let's do the same thing here. Let's go and we'll go by 5s. So plus 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. 15 plus 5 is 20. And 20 plus 5 is 25. I'm going to do the same thing over here, but this one I'm going to go by 3s. So I'm going to add this side by 3. See what I get. So I got 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. And 12 plus 3 is 15. All right, let's do our totals. So going up here, 10 plus 6 is 16. 15 plus 9 gives me 24. And 20 plus 12 equals 32. My final one is 25 plus 15 is 40. I want to see when we have the same amount of numbers, okay? So if you go over to your total drops, I got 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20 on my frosting. My teacher has 8, 16, 24, 32, and 40. I'll go back to my highlighter here. And I want to know when they're the same. I've got 16 and I got 16. There's no other ones that are the same. Well, I'm sorry, 8 is the same, but that's where we started. So because I have these two that are equivalent, now I can kind of make an assumption. So making and comparing these, you can say pretty easily here, if I have 6 drops of red and 2 drops of blue, that gives me 8 total. Well, your teacher has 5 drops of red and 3 drops of blue to give you 8. That means I have more red here. So let's look at the next one. On mine, I have 12 drops of red, 4 of blue. To compare theirs, they have 10 drops of blue, or red, and 6 drops of blue to give you 16. We have a total of 16. I have more red. So this just proves that my frosting is redder than my teacher's. So whose frosting is redder? You would put mine. That's really simply it, but you need to prove it with showing a ratio table. All right, that is the end of this video. Thank you very much.